Improvement Pill here. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how you can gain the ability to predict the future. Now, I'm being 100% serious. If you sit down and think about it, there are actually a fair amount of people on this planet right now who can predict the future. They may not get it right all the time, but they can predict what will happen much more accurately than most other people. And these so-called seers, these oracles, these prophets are the ones who end up in positions of power. They're the ones who end up making a lot of money, having a lot of influence, and living healthier and happier lives. They have what I like to call, drumroll, the ability to see how things will work out. See, when we're born into this world, we immediately start learning about how things work. We learn that if we put our hand on something too hot, that we'll get burnt. We learn that we shouldn't make a mess when we eat, because then we'll get yelled at by our parents. We learn that if we do something bad to someone else, like punching them, then they'll do something bad back to us. The truth of the matter is, everyone has developed the ability to see how things will work out to some degree. But what separates the average person from those that become massively successful is the extent of this ability. Most people can only see a couple of minutes or days into the future. Most people are only conscious of the immediate effects of their actions. A burnt hand happens seconds after you touch a hot stove. An angry parent happens minutes after you trash the house. A speeding ticket arrives days after you're bumping with the law. The people that become super successful are on another level when it comes to their ability to see how things will work out. They're able to see months and even years into the future. They can accurately see the results of their actions far down the line, and this is a very, very powerful skill, as it can get you to places you want to be and also help you avoid bad situations. Here's an example of this skill bringing you to a place you want to be. Now, I've been telling people, especially my friends and colleagues, for years that they should learn more about digital marketing, which is essentially marketing on social media platforms like Google, YouTube, and Instagram. I found out about the field in 2015, and I instantly knew that if I dedicated time and energy into becoming a good digital marketer, that I would be in a very good position a couple of years down the line. And here I am with a profitable online business built off the back of my digital marketing skills. I was able to predict that digital marketing would be huge in the future. If you'd like to learn more about digital marketing, which I highly suggest you do because it's a field that's just going to keep on growing, then you can learn more about it by watching one of my videos using the link in the description box below. Now, here's an example of someone who hasn't developed their ability to see how things will work out. An acquaintance of mine approached me a couple of years ago with a business idea. He wanted to launch a coupon app. I listened, and based on what I could see, combined with his current skill level at the time, I told him that his business was bound to fail. I suggested that he work on his marketing and sales skills before pulling the trigger and going all in on this project. He ignored my warning, and here are the results. The business was a complete flop. He wasted 2 years of his life and tens of thousands of dollars, all because he was unable to accurately predict the future of his actions. People who can accurately see into the future live wealthier, healthier, and happier lives because they know what things to avoid and what things to spend more time on. It's without a doubt that it's one of the most powerful skills you should be developing. Now, the question remains, how exactly can we increase the length of time of which we see into the future accurately? And I'm going to stress the word accurately because, as you saw in my previous example, there are tons of people out there who think they can see into the future, but their prediction is usually way off. Here's the answer. See, the world we live in is a very, very, very complicated place. There are countless fields and things you can learn about, all with dozens of their own rules and laws. For example, in physics, there's the law of gravity and the law of motion. In business, there's the 80-20 rule. In cooking, there's rules on how to oil the pan, etc. Every single field has certain rules, and if you understand these rules, you can predict what will happen. You can predict that your food will get burnt if you don't oil the pan. You can predict that a pen will drop because of gravity. However, the thing about real-life problems is that they usually encompass many fields. Using the example of my acquaintance who wanted to start his own business, there are so many things we have to consider in order to predict what will happen. We need to know the following. What are the rules related to someone's personality that can predict success? What are the rules related to a good product that can predict success? What are the rules related to running a business that can predict success? And what are the rules related to marketing that can predict success? We would have to keep all of those things in consideration in order to make an accurate prediction for this problem. People who are unable to make accurate predictions about the future aren't able to step back and look at the big picture. They don't see how how many rules they need to understand in order to make the right prediction. My acquaintance knew that he himself was a hard worker, so he assumed by just knowing the rules for personality that he would find success, when in reality there were so many other things he should have considered. Had he asked himself whether or not he understood marketing and business, then maybe the results would have been very different. Now, if there's so many fields out there and so many rules we need to learn in order to make the right prediction, to the point where it's not even possible to learn everything in just one lifespan, what strategy should we use to increase our knowledge? What should we do in order to gain the ability to predict the future? Well, the best way for me to describe this is through a little exercise. I want you to imagine that this circle represents a box with something inside of it. In order to predict the future, you must be able to figure out what's inside the box. What's inside changes for every unique problem. Now, if you dedicate time and energy into learning more about one field and you understand the rules, then you will have opened a little hole on this box from which you can look through. But one hole is usually not enough to tell what's inside the box. All I can tell from this hole is that I see some fur. But if you learn more about other fields and their rules, you'll be able to see what's inside the box from a different angle. This time I see a pair of ears. We open up another hole and I see some whiskers and a face. If you understand the rules for enough things and enough fields, then you will have enough holes to be able to tell what's inside the box fairly accurately. In this case, it's a cat. The beautiful thing about this world that we live in is that every single field is connected somehow. Math is connected to music, which is connected to nature, which is connected to science, which is connected to business and finance. Many of the rules will repeat themselves or share similarities. So when you learn more about math, you will learn more about music and business at the same time. The more fields you learn about, the more holes you will open up. The more holes you open up, the better of a view you will have of whatever is inside the box. If you want to become wise, which if you think about it is simply the ability to predict the future and make better decisions, then you need to cast a wide net and learn about the rules of many different things. This means watching random documentaries, spending time honing different skills, traveling the world to see different places, and most importantly, reading books about different subjects. Which brings us to the sponsors of today's episode, Audible. If you want to be able to see into the future, you must be actively consuming information about different topics. This means you gotta read non-fiction books. Audible is a great way for you to consume all the information in books while you're doing other things. I personally love using them whenever I'm commuting to places or when I'm doing my chores. Go to www.audible.com/improvementpill or text ImprovementPill to 500-500 to get an exclusive 30-day free trial and a book of your choice for absolutely free. I highly suggest you guys listen to Jordan Peterson's newest book, 12 Rules of Life, which just came out on Audible. It does a really good job teaching you about the rules in a wide variety of fields, including nature, sports, parenting, and much, much more. Remember guys, if you want to be able to predict the future more accurately, you have to learn about a wide variety of things. So act fast, grab that free trial, and start listening to some books. Besides that guys, stay tuned.